What happened? No voice from anybody. So what I was asking is, how is the state government? What? How is it made? What is this kind of? Let me see the chat window. Chat window. Last year in your sixth standard, you learned about the panchayat, correct? Everybody remembers that panchayat you have learned. Have you learned about the panchayat or not learned about panchayat? You have learned, na? So how are people in this panchayat selected? Has everybody forgotten about the panchayat? Huh? What happened? Everybody very has gone to sleep. I'm having what, only 13 people. How come only 13 people are there in this class? Oh, this is going to start at 12:20, right? 12:10. 12:10 is the time. Why is there so much silence in the class? See, I cannot teach you unless you people participate. I am not going to come here and give you lecture. You all have to participate. See, they don't know the link. Who doesn't know the link? 1 minute, let me see. Link is already put up now. It is sent. Lectures. See, there are 95 students, 91 students, if I'm not mistaken, in your class, and there are only 14 or 15 students who have joined. What is the problem? No, that network issue is solved long time back. A message also has been sent, right? That network issue is solved. Okay, anyway, I'll just teach. Let's see. Panchayat members are elected by the village people. That's very correct, Siddhant. That's good, correct. Panchayat people members are elected by the village people. And so, in the same way, how Panchayat members are elected by the village people, we have the state government members who are elected by the people in the state. So, we will take, for example, the state of Karnataka. Okay. So, in Karnataka, we have one person who is the chief minister. Does anybody know who the chief minister of Karnataka is? Who can tell me who is the chief minister of Karnataka? Is Yedurappa, he's your friend, is it? Huh? He's your neighbor or your friend? When you are referring to the chief minister, you will refer to this person with respect. Mr. BSY or BS Yedurappa. Mr. or Chief Minister Yedurappa. That is how you refer to this person. So, who is the Chief Minister of Karnataka? Correct. Whenever you address any person, address to that person with respect because he holds a high position, he holds a high office which is a very influential and powerful office in the state. That is the chief minister. Yes, he is elected by the people, he is the people's representative. I do not disagree with that. That is absolutely right. But when you refer to somebody, you will refer to that person with respect. So, like how you call me sir or you call your teachers ma'am, in the same way, our chief minister, our prime minister also must be referred to with respect. Right? Okay. Yeah. So our chief minister is Mr. Yediyurappa. Now the question is he the only person in the state government or are there other people in the state government? There are other people also. What are they called? Any idea what they are called? ML? MLA. They are called as MLA. What is the meaning of this MLA full form? Can anybody give me? They are called this members in the state government or the people working in the state government under our chief minister Mr. Yadurappa. They are called as MLA. That is correct. They are not called as MP, not MP. Correct. That is very correct. Absolutely right. They are members of Legislative Assembly (MLA). Now it is called as Legislative Assembly because the state government is basically called as the Legislative Assembly. That is the house where these MLAs work and do their work, their functioning. So the main work of the MLA or the member of Legislative Assembly, who these group of people are, their main work is mainly to make laws. Our day-to-day functioning, our day-to-day life that we have, each and everything is run by laws. If there are no laws, nothing will work properly because without laws means there is going to be confusion. Please hold on 1 minute, students. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. My class is going on somewhere. Social science, yeah. No, I started since almost 10 minutes, but hardly any students are there. Just some 20 students are there. So, not good. I'm waiting for students to join only. Hardly anybody is joining. I don't know what the problem is. Okay. Yeah. So as all of you said, we have the chief minister, and with the chief minister, he has a group of ministers working for him, and they are all called as MLA or member of Legislative Assembly because the state government official name of the state government or the real name of the state government is the Legislative Assembly. It is a assembly, which means that assembly means a group of people. Morning you used to have morning assembly, right? When you were coming to school, people would come say prayer. That was the assembly in the morning. So this assembly means a gathering or a group of people, and legislative basically it means for the purpose of making laws. So the group of people who have come together with the main idea of making laws, they are called as the members of legislative assembly. Is this clear till now for everybody? It's clear. Good. Okay, very good. Very good. Yeah. So India is a huge country with 29 states. Yeah, good afternoon. So India is a huge country with 29 states and 7 union territories. Yes, good afternoon. Why have you all joined so late? You was joining. How much time does it take to join? This class has started at 12:10. Now it is 12:23. 13 minutes later. Yeah. So distribution of power between the center and the states has been provided for in the Constitution of India. Our Indian Constitution has given a very beautiful way in which the power is distributed between the central government and the state government. And for this reason, so that the country can function in a smooth manner. The state government is responsible for good governance of the people of the state, and the state government manages the affairs of the state at three levels, that is, the legislative, the executive, and the administrative. That is the three levels in the state government. The state legislature consists of the governor, who is very much similar to the President of India, that is the governor of the state, and one or two houses. Now, like all of you have told me that the people who are working under the chief minister, they are called as MLA, right? They are member of legislative assembly. So this legislative assembly is basically the lower house. Lower house. This there are house has two levels, one first floor and the second floor. First floor means the legislative assembly or the Vidhan Sabha, and then we have the upper house, which is called as the legislative council or the Vidhan Parishad. Now, one thing you need to understand, students, is that all the states do not have these two levels. There is only one level in few states, and some there are few states which have both these levels. That is the legislative assembly, and the upper level, that is the legislative council. There are two levels which are placed for the state governments. So how it works is any law which is passed by the legislative assembly, it will then go to the legislative council, and then the legislative council will again recheck the law which is being passed, and then finally the governor will sign and give the law to the people. That is how it works. Has everybody understood how this works? What is the legislative assembly? What is the legislative council? Everyone has understood very good.
Legislative council, sir.
What is the exact meaning of governor? Okay, so the governor of a state is mainly the head of the state, you can say. Even he is not the head of the government, because the head of the government is the chief minister. All the functioning of the state is looked after by the chief minister. But whereas the government is the administrative head, he sees that the functioning is smooth. The appointment of the chief minister is done by the governor. So the governor will appoint the chief minister and sees that the chief minister works properly. Any problem with the chief minister, the governor can remove the chief minister. Okay, so that is the meaning of the governor. Is that clear, Bhargavi?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, cool, good. Yeah. So this was about the legislative assembly, the lower house, and then the upper house, that is the legislative council. Yeah. So now let us see the powers and functions of the Legislative Assembly. What the Legislative Assembly does. It acts as the highest law-making organ of the state. Hmm? In the state, any law which is to be created will be created only by the Legislative Assembly. No other government office, no other person is can make a law. It is only the power of the Legislative Assembly. A proposal to pass a law or to be or to amend an existing law is called as a bill. The bill is introduced in the Legislative Assembly. So first, when there is a baby law, hmm, a law when it at its very initial state, before the law is actually born, it is called as bill. So a baby law, it is called as bill. Unborn law, not yet come out into to the open world, is called as bill. So these bills, the proposals are debated or discussed among the members of the assembly before voting. The bill is given to all the members, and then the bill would be checked by all the members, all the MLAs. They will see that everything is fine, working properly, and then they will put a vote. So once the bill is approved with the majority vote, it is sent to the upper house, that is the legislative council, and then finally the legislative council also will check, they will debate, they will see everything is fine, and then the bill will go to the governor for his final approval. After the governor signs on that bill, then the bill is born, and that bill which is born, it is called as a law. Have you all understood how a law actually comes out?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good, good. Everybody is understood.
Sir.
Any doubts, anybody? At any time you have any doubt, immediately stop me and ask, because this is something new which you are all learning. You have not learned this earlier in any of the earlier classes. So I am very sure you will all have plenty of doubts. So please do ask me. Okay, very good question, Rohit. Can law be changed? Yes, laws definitely can be changed. Any law which is made at any time, there can be a change made in that law if it is required. Who is not able to hear me? Huh? My voice is very clear. Can everybody hear me?
Sir, I can hear sir. Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Sir, I can also hear you.
Yes, good, good, good. Anyone not able to hear me? You can please check your network connection, because it is very clear over here. Everybody is able to hear me. Good. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Budget is made by chief minister or central. Hold on. Hold on. There was one doubt. Budget is made by chief minister or central government. Yes. Again, a very good question by Siddhant over here. Siddhant, budget is made by the central government also and by the state government also. Both the governments make their budgets. The central government will make a budget for the entire country, and the state government will make a budget only for that particular state. So both the governments will make the budget. Is that clear, Siddhant?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. Who cannot sue Sumangala Gowder? Who is this? Yeah, someone can't hear me. Please check your network. Okay. Yeah.
Sir, which lesson?
This is chapter number 22.
Sir,
How
which lesson?
chapter number 22, how state governments work.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Right. So let us go to the next one. What is a budget? Yeah. Siddhant was asking whether the state government makes the budget or the union government makes the budget. But budget is made by both the governments. But let us see what this budget is. So budget is like a future account of the government. Now see, in your households, every month you need to buy milk, correct? I think everybody drinks milk in their houses.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because it is good for your health. So you drink milk every day, every morning, and then after that you have breakfast, correct? And
Yes,
once all
sir.
the online classes are over, then you will have lunch. Nice, tasty,
Yes,
hot
sir.
lunch which your mother has prepared. And then in the night, everybody sits together and has a family dinner. Correct, na? Now, for your mother to prepare all this breakfast, lunch, dinner, she will require some certain amount of money to go to the market to buy vegetables, to buy grains, to buy the wheat flour for making the chapati, for bringing the rice, for cooking the rice, for getting vegetables. All these things she will require money, right? It does not come for free. Correct. So now this money, it normally the person who is earning in the house, it could be your father, it could be your mother, or could be both. Whoever is earning in the family, they will allocate a certain amount of money from their monthly salary for buying all these grocery items whenever it is required. So this allocation of money, say for example, your father earns a salary of 10,000 rupees every month. An example I've given. Out of 10,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees is set aside for buying the groceries of your monthly groceries, whatever you require in your house. Now, this 5,000 rupees is the monthly budget of your particular house. Now, this from house to house, this budget will vary. If there are more number of people in the house, then the budget from 5,000 will increase to 7 or 8,000. So the budget of each and every house is different depending upon the number of people in your house. In the very similar fashion, in the very same way, like how you make a budget for your own house. Now, from this household budget, you have to buy groceries, you have to pay electricity bill, you have to pay internet bill, you have to pay your every month sim recharge, airtel recharge or whatever, you have to pay your tata sky bill. All these bills have to be covered in that monthly budget. Is everybody able to understand me? Hmm. Yes, correct. So, in the same way, how your house monthly budget for the house is made, in the same way, there is a yearly budget, not a monthly budget, but one budget for the entire year is created by the government, because the government runs so many different kinds of departments. They have the water department, they have the electricity department, they have the telephone department, they have agricultural department, they have a department for running the hospitals, for running government schools, for repairing roads. So many different departments are there by the government, and each and every department they require some money, because without money things will not work. So that is the reason why the government will prepare a budget. It will say, okay, this much money should be given for hospitals, this much money should be given for the schools, this much money will be given for water supply, this much money will be given for electricity supply, this much money will be given for repairing of the roads. This much is the allocation, the money which is given to them for the year. And then that department will see that this money which is given to them in the budget is spent properly without wasting any of that. That is how the state government will prepare the expenditure. Now the question is, from where does this money come? If the government is able to give all this money, does it get salary from somewhere? Is the government getting salary from somewhere? Like how your mummy papa who are there working, they're able to get a salary. Does the government also get a salary? The answer is yes. The money which is collected by the government is usually by the taxes that we people pay.
Sir, the taxes.
Absolutely right. Your parents
Sir,
whenever,
from taxes.
correct, your parents whenever they earn a salary, a certain amount of money is taken out in the form of income tax, and it is given to the government. There are big companies, many large big companies are there. Whatever profit they make in the year by selling of different goods, from that a certain amount of money is taken by the way of taxes, and that tax is given to the government. The government collects this tax. Whenever you buy anything, you would have heard of this word, no, GST. You heard of this word GST? This GST is a type of tax which the government puts on different goods which are being purchased. There is GST on petrol, there is tax on petrol. Whenever you buy petrol, there is a tax on that. That tax again is taken by the government, they collect it. And all this tax, whichever they collect in the entire year, this tax becomes money which they are going to use for the budget. So the tax which is collected is their income, and the money which they are going to spend on these various departments, like for the hospitals, for the schools, for the roads, for the water, electricity, all this is their expenditure. So the budget is like a future account of the government. It gives the proposals of income and expenditure to the government, and this budget is presented by the finance minister. In your house, your mother will normally prepare a budget, that this much money I'm going to get, and this much money I will spend for vegetables, this much money I will spend for electricity bill, for milk bill, for water bill, for internet bill. For all these bills, your Mother will make the allocation. So your mother is basically the finance minister of your house, of any house mostly. Normally we have seen that the mother is the finance minister. She can be called as the finance minister, whereas your father is like the chief minister. He will see that everything functions properly, everything works properly. So have you understood the part of the budget, everybody?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Laws can be changed by state government or central government. Now, the law, which is, yeah, Bhargavi has a question, whether laws can be changed by the state government or they can be changed by the central government. Uh, Whatever law is made by the central government, only the central government can change those laws. And if any law is made by the state government, only the state government can change those laws. So laws can be changed anytime whenever there is a requirement for changing the laws. And yes, they can be changed anytime. Yeah. Why the government will not take fees for the government school? The government does not take fees for the government school because it has created those schools for providing free education to the people who cannot afford expensive education in private schools. That is the reason why the government has created these government schools, because for them they are providing the education. Why will government not print what? Notes, huh? Lots of money to help poor people. Okay, see, printing money is a more complicated thing. The more money I print, the lesser value it has. Okay, uh, you know, if you see any very extremely rich person who has extremely lots of money, he will have lesser value for that. But a poor person who has very less amount of money, that whatever little amount of money he has a lot of value. So in the same way, the government cannot print extra money, excessive money. When you print excessive money, it loses its value. That is why how much money is there in circulation, only that much must be kept. Absolutely right, Siddhant. The more money you print, the lesser value it has. And once you go ahead in in your future classes, by the time you come to 10th standard, you will understand exactly how this money is printed and how it gets its value. Yeah, democracy in action. I will teach later. Okay, I have skipped that one particular chapter, democracy in action. We will do that lesson later. Don't worry.
Okay, sir.
Okay, okay, okay,
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
okay, okay. Yeah,
Okay, sir. Sir, did you
yeah.
teach 21st chapter?
Which
Sir,
chapter?
we teach the law.
The only people who can change the law is the people who make the laws.
Sir, sir, did you teach in chapter 21?
No, no, chapter 21 I have not yet taught. I will do that later. Okay?
Sir, you started 20 lesson. Sir,
Hmm?
you started 20 lesson.
I have started the 22nd lesson, 22, chapter number 22. Chapter number 21, I will take it later.
Okay, sir.
Okay?
So we can start writing the notes from chapter how do state governments work.
Let me finish teaching you, no, first. After I finish teaching you, then you write, no problem.
Okay, sir.
Okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so we were talking about the budget and everybody has understood the budget, right? Yes.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, and then we saw that in your house, your mother is a finance minister and your father is a chief minister. Okay, so tonight, when you're having dinner, no, you can ask your mother whether she is the finance minister of your house. Okay, so powers and functions of the legislative council. This was the legislative assembly. Let us see what actually happens in the
Sir, your
legislative.
voice is not coming, sir.
My voice is not coming.
sir, it's
Sir, it's coming, sir.
It's coming
Sir,
now.
it's clear. No, sir, it's coming clear. Sir, sir, now it is clear. Sir, it is coming.
Okay, very good. ठीक है.
Sir, it's
Yeah.
audible.
Yeah. So the Legislative Council is mainly an advisory body, means it does the work of giving advice to the Legislative Assembly. The members of the Legislative Council are not directly elected by the people of the state, but by different bodies of the state. This is a permanent body and they get elected for a period of 6 years. That is the Legislative Council. And of all the states in Karnataka, there are only very few states who actually have a Legislative Council. These states they are Bihar, Karnataka, Maharashtra, and Uttar Pradesh. These are the states which have two houses, or they are also called as bicameral. The word bicameral would be there in a textbook, which means that there are two houses. That is the Legislative Assembly and then the Legislative Council. These are the two houses. That is called as bicameral. Right. So now let us learn about this governor. Who is the governor and what work does he do? The governor is the constitutional head of the state. So as I said earlier also, the governor is the head of the state and the president is the head of the, sorry, the chief minister is the head of the government, state government. So he is appointed by the president, who the president is the head of the country, and the prime minister is the head of the central government. So there's a very fine differences between these people. So the governor is the head of the is the constitutional head of the state, and he is appointed by the president, who is the head of the country. He appoints the chief minister and other members of the council of ministers. He appoints the chief minister and other members of the council of ministers. He appoints the advocate general and other officers of the state. It means the advocate general is basically the person who looks after the high court. So the governor appoints the advocate general. And then every bill has to be approved by the governor. He has the right to dissolve the legislature. If he sees that the state government is not functioning properly, there is a problem in the state government, the ministers are not working properly, then he has the power to dissolve or to close the government. He can put a new government in power. That is called as dissolving the legislature. Has everybody understood the meaning of this dissolving the legislature?
Yes, sir.
no, sir.
Dissolving the legislature means,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I will just explain once again. I will explain once again.
No, sir.
Yeah. See, sometimes what happens is the state government sometimes is not able to function properly. The state government sometimes might not have enough number of ministers. The ministers who are elected to become to be part of the state government might stop working. They might resign. They might resign from their duties. So when this happens, the number of MLAs or the number of ministers in the state government reduces. It comes down. If the number of ministers in the state government comes down below a certain level, that time the governor can stop this legislative assembly. He can close this entire legislative assembly and choose new people by way of fresh elections. So, when this closure of the legislative assembly, stopping them from working, this is called as dissolving the legislature. That is called as dissolving, wherein you close the entire legislative assembly. That is called as dissolving. Now, have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Sir, what is meaning of eligibility?
Eligibility means, yeah, eligibility, sorry. So, how does a person become a governor or who can become a governor? That is called as eligibility. First thing is that person must be a citizen of India. I cannot go to the US and I cannot go to America, take one person and tell him that you will become governor of this state because he is not a citizen of India. So for the person to become a governor, he has to be citizen of India. That is the first eligibility. Then he should not be member of either House of Parliament or state legislature. So this governor should not be part of the legislative assembly. He should not be a member of legislative assembly, nor should he be a member of the central government. So this person, only then can he become the governor. And this person should not hold any office of profit, means he should not be in an office where he is earning extra money. That is called as office of profit. Only this kind of person can become a governor. That is his eligibility for becoming the governor. Is that understood?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now another important part is a constituency. What is a constituency? Now this word constituency, you will be hearing about this word again all throughout. You will be hearing about this word in your 8th standard. You will hear about it again in your 10th standard, 9th standard also, 10th standard also. Though this is a very important part. What is a constituency? So now our entire India, our
Very good.
okay, sir, it has. Sir, if he has a case, yeah. So what I'm saying is this constituency. What is this constituency and what is the meaning of this constituency? Every state in India is divided into smaller areas which are called as constituency. We are not talking about districts, we are not talking about talukas, we are not talking about villages. We are talking about a smaller area within a state, and this smaller area, it is called as a constituency, which is a specified area covering one or more districts. Okay. Now this particular constituency, each such constituency has an elected representative who is a member of the legislative assembly. So an example I can give you, our district of, who is that? Who is that making noise? Everyone, can you please be on mute? It would be good if everyone is on mute. Okay. Yeah. So as I was saying, I'll give you an example of Belgaum. Our Belgavi district is divided into three constituencies. We have Belgaum North, we have Belgaum South, and then we have Belgaum Rural. From each of this constituency, one person is elected as a representative, and that one person becomes a member of legislative assembly or a MLA. From Belgaum South, one person is elected. From Belgaum North, one more person is elected, and from Belgaum Rural, one more person is elected. So totally from Belgaum, we will have three MLAs who will represent the entire district of Belgaum in the legislative assembly. So that is why these constituencies are mainly made depending upon the size of the district and or the size of the cities within that district. So Belgaum being a very large district, our Belgaum is a pretty big district. So that is why it is divided into three constituencies, and each constituency will have one member of legislative assembly who represents that constituency. Have you understood this meaning of constituency?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we should write only question and summary also will easy.
See, regarding question, answer, summary, and all that, you can ask me later. Now, I am asking you the doubt about this particular lesson. You ask me the doubt about this particular lesson. If you understand this lesson, then you can write whatever you want. You can write question answers, you can write the summary, everything you can write. But you need to understand what I am teaching over here. If anybody has any doubt, single doubt, you are not understood what this constituency is, please tell me. I will explain it once again. But it is very important that you understand the meaning of this constituency because this word,
Sir,
this
what? Sir, please teach again. Sir, please teach again.
see, everybody
Sir,
said yes,
what
sir,
is
yes, sir.
constituency?
See, as I am saying, our state is divided into different parts, and from each part, it is called as a constituency. And one constituency means one member of legislative assembly. From each constituency, it is a geographical location, a constituency. It could be made up of one or two districts, or one district could be made up of two or three constituencies. From each constituency, people will stand for election, they will fight election, and one person will win. That person who wins will become the member of legislative assembly for the state government. That is the meaning of constituency. Have you heard, understood this
Yes,
constituency?
sir.
Who is this Ishwar
Sir.
Kalloli? Some stupid question is asking me how many chapters will come for exam. Now I want this Ishwar Kalloli to tell me the meaning of constituency. Who is this Ishwar Kalloli? Please unmute and speak.
Sir,
Did you understand what is the meaning of constituency? I'm asking a question. Did you understand the meaning of constituency? Yeah, Ishwar. Please unmute and tell me what is the meaning of constituency.
sir,
Hmm?
I joined class now only because my dad was not concerned.
Then if you have joined the class now only, then you should listen to what I am saying, right? What I am explaining over here. You are simply typing in the chat box how many chapters are going to come for exam. What is the meaning of that question? How many chapters are going to come for exam? I am teaching over here something else. You are bothered about what is going to come for exam. Or if you don't answer, don't understand this, how are you going to write that whatever exam is there? Now, what is more important? Is the exam more important or what I am teaching is more important? Yeah, Ishwar, tell me what is more important. What I am teaching is important or no? Or your exam is more important? Please don't type stupid things in the chat box. Whatever doubt you have regarding the lesson, what I am teaching, you will type only that. I don't want to see doubts about question and answers, how many question answers to write, when is exam, what is the chapter in the exam. Concentrate on what I am teaching right now. You ask me doubts about that. All regarding your portion for exam, your exam dates and all that, everything will be sent as a separate notice. Your parents can read that notice. Now for you important is concentrating on what I am teaching. Is that clear? Ishwar, no answer. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So I am repeating once again this meaning of the word constituency. The meaning of this word constituency is each state is divided into smaller locations, which is called as a constituency for selecting the MLA from each constituency. And this constituency could be made up of one district or two or more districts, or one single district could also be divided into two or more constituencies. That is how this constituency is made. It is depending upon the size of the district. And example for you is the MLAs of Belgaum. In Belgaum, there are basically three MLAs. For Belgaum North, we have Mr. Anil Benke, who is the MLA of Belgaum North. Then we have Mr. Abhay Patel, who is the MLA for Belgaum South. And then we have, what is her name? One more MLA from Belgaum Rural. I am unable to recollect her name. She's a lady. But we have three MLAs from the entire part of Belgaum. So, yeah, since we are almost coming to the end of the time, what we did today is we started learning about the state government. And in the state government, we learned that there are two houses in the state government. That is the legislative assembly, that is the lower house. And then we have the legislative council, which is the upper house. And these people who are there in the legislative assembly, they are selected from the constituencies of the state. So each state is divided into smaller locations of called as constituencies, and from each constituency, one member of legislative assembly is elected. And we also learned about budget. We learned that the budget is a way in which the state government makes money available for the different works which are to be done, or different facilities which are to be provided to the people in the state. That is all the things that we have learned in today's class. In tomorrow's class, we will learn more things further. So, does anybody have any other kind of doubt?
No, sir.
Well, sir, can we leave the meeting?
Okay, if nobody has any more doubts, then